In this video, we're going to discuss the divisions of the nervous system. Hopefully by the end of the video, you'll be able to describe the differences between the central and the peripheral nervous system, explain the difference between the somatic and the autonomic nervous system, as well as differentiate between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic divisions of the autonomic nervous system. So there are two main divisions of the nervous system. And you see here in this figure, we have the central nervous system, which includes the brain and the spinal cord and runs down the center of our body. And then we have the peripheral nervous system, which is everything out here in the periphery. All of these nerves that you see out here going out to our organs and our fingers and our toes, that's the peripheral nervous system. So the two main divisions of the nervous system are the central and the peripheral nervous system. Now, the central nervous system is sometimes abbreviated CNS, while the peripheral nervous system is often abbreviated as PNS. The central nervous system can further be divided into the brain and the spinal cord. We'll come back and talk more about the central nervous system in a bit, but again, please note again that the central nervous system is in the center of the body, the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system can be subdivided into the autonomic nervous system and the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is going to control more of the voluntary movements, like your muscles when you flex your arm or even when you're picking up a pen to write. It also involves sensory information that's coming into the nervous system. In other words, your motor nerves and your sensory nerves. So think of the somatic nervous system as being more voluntary actions, the things that you think about doing. The autonomic nervous system is more automatic or involuntary actions. So think of autonomic as being automatic. For example, do you consciously tell your pupils to dilate when you walk into a dark room or turn out the lights? No, that's your autonomic nervous system. Do you tell your heart to start beating faster when you're excited or scared? No, that's your autonomic nervous system. Those things are automatic. We don't think about them. They're happening unconsciously. So the autonomic nervous system can further be divided into the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is what's going to prepare your body for action. It revs everything up and gets your body ready to either fight, flee, or freeze. Think about this scenario. You're driving down the road and quickly glance at your phone. Something you never do, of course. When you look up, there's a car stopped at the red light just 50 yards from you. You slam on your brakes and fortunately, you avoid an accident. But how do you feel? Is your body a little tense? Maybe your palms are a little sweaty? Your heart beating a little faster? That is your sympathetic nervous system, getting your body ready to mobilize for action, whether that's to stay and fight. Hopefully you're not going to fight if you get in an accident. To flee. Hopefully you don't run away if you get in an accident, or freeze. We really don't want to do any of those things, but hopefully you also avoided that accident. Now, do you feel like that forever? No. That's the role of the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system comes and calms everything down, brings you back to a steady stage quiescence. So the parasympathetic is what operates in kind of our baseline, our quiescent states, keeping everything just kind of functioning. And the sympathetic nervous system, again, mobilizes our body for action. It's that fight or flight response, and they've now added in that freeze. And if you think about animals and how they react to a predator. They either stay and decide they're going to fight and fluff up their fur. I'm thinking of a cat or a dog. Or they just freeze and try to act like they're not there. Or they turn around and run away. They flee, right? The spinal cord is a collection of nerves and neurons that run down the center of your body. When you touch your spine and you feel those little bumpy protrusions, that's your spinal cord, and its job is to protect the spinal column, much like the skull protects your brain. So within the spinal cord sit the motor neurons, and so they are actually in the spinal cord itself. But the axons that carry information out, considered the motor nerves, are part of the peripheral nervous system because they go out in the periphery. And you'll see here that the motor nerves are leaving on the ventral side of the spinal cord. Sensory neurons are outside the spinal cord in what's called the dorsal root ganglion, and they are going to bring information in from receptors in the sense organs. Here in the spinal cord, we're really talking about the sensation of touch or pain or temperature. And then when we get up into the neck and head area, it's the cranial nerves that we won't talk about in this class. So again, while the spinal cord is part of that central nervous system with those motor neurons, the nerves, the sensory nerves and the motor nerves that come in and out and carry that information out to the muscles or in from the sense organs are part of that peripheral nervous system.